In this world, when talking about skills, they are supernatural abilities gained upon reaching level 50. An amateur might be granted a skill that makes him become a swordmaster, and the same goes for magic. This is why our MC, Shun Bright, kept accumulating experience points until he made it to level 50. Instead of receiving something useful and good after his years of leveling up, Shun is hit with something so absurd. Unlike the other adventurers, Shun receives a skill called Level Down. 5 years before everything went downhill, Shun was known as the Swift Rookie because of his amazing growth speed. However, he ended up with a defective skill that keeps lowering his level every time he finds himself in a fight. Due to the influence of this terrible skill, he kept getting weaker day after day. And with how far he has fallen, he has managed to find himself in the same class as civilians. All those he considered friends left him one by one, and those who hated him for growing too fast came after him and started persecuting him. Leading the list of these people is a brat named Gazaria. Gazaria beats him up every chance he gets. Shun is not happy with the way things are, but it is not like he has a choice. Shun is considered a loser, unlike his father, who was a hero. His father protected people when he was still around. Shun also has the same desire to be a hero like his father, which is why he kept traveling to various places in search of a solution. However, he found no solution to his problem, and in fact it got worse. Shun gets trapped in a dungeon with Gazaria, who resents him for being a prodigy. Gazaria is now a level 66 adventurer with a summoning skill. Gazaria beats Shun to a pulp while making fun of him. Shun has no way of fighting back, and all he can do is just take the beating like a mummy's boy. Gazaria hates him so much that he plans to unalive him in the dungeon. Since he doesn't want to do it himself, Gazaria summons 3 blood wolf monsters to help him take care of the situation. Shun cannot believe that Gazaria is ready to go to such lengths just to get rid of him. With a smirk on his face, Gazaria lets Shun know that he is finished, since there is no way he would be able to fight the monsters in his weakened state. Shun tries reasoning with Gazaria, telling him that things might go horribly wrong if the monsters lose control. Shun adds that other adventurers might even get hurt from Gazaria's selfish actions. However, Gazaria kicks Shun in the face, telling him that he doesn't care. Shun turns to his friends, telling them not to say anything to anyone about what went down in the dungeon. Being evil-minded just like Gazaria, his friends smile and agree not to tell a soul. They even plan to cook up a story that Shun was trying to challenge the dangerous dungeon, which is what led to his demise. After making sure that Shun is too weak to do anything, Gazaria and his friends leave. Shun figures out that he has no chance against the monsters. He gets up from where he is sitting and manages to hide behind cover. His plan is to avoid combat as much as he can, since Gazaria has already summoned more monsters before leaving. While hiding from the monster, Shun hears a woman screaming in the distance. From where he is hiding, Shun realizes that the blood wolves that Gazaria summoned are closing in on the innocent lady. Being the good guy that he is, Shun plans to help the girl. However, he is worried about his capabilities. He is wounded and weak, and if he tries to fight the monsters, he is going to get even weaker. Shun doesn't want to be reckless, and he thinks of waiting for a better adventurer to come to the girl's aid. Just then, he realizes that the wolf is closing in on the girl. Shun can no longer sit by and watch the girl get hurt. Without thinking twice, Shun jumps between the girl and the wolves. Shun knows that he has no chance against the wolves because of his low level. Shun plans to use his experience to fight the monsters. Before he received the useless skill, he had taken down countless monsters, and he plans to use his experience to take down the monster. Shun tells the lady to stay put while he takes care of the monster. Shun knows that the underbelly of the wolves is their weakness, and he plans to use it. Even with his low level, he believes that he still has what it takes to deal damage. One of the wolves charges toward Shun, and he puts his plan into action. He is able to hit the belly of the wolf to defeat it. Shun is relieved to have defeated one of the 3 wolves, leaving 2. The status screen shows Shun that he has gained experience from this, but his level has decreased by 2. Shun was level 1, but with the decrease in level, it runs down to 0, and in a twist of things, Shun's level enters negative. Error messages filled the screen as Shun was informed that his level had become -1. Shun wonders why he is receiving error messages when all he wants to do is protect the girl, become stronger, and help people just like his father did. Instead of giving up at that moment, Shun finds strength in the fact that his father is a strong man. Shun is determined to fight until the bitter end to help people who are in trouble. In a moment of defiance and rage, Shun denounces the defective skill. Shun says he doesn't care if his level goes down or not. He is ready to protect the girl with everything. Suddenly, time stops, and Shun hears a voice in his head. The voice acknowledges Shun's bravery and sense of justice and praises his commitment. Shun is left to wonder what is happening to him. On the status screen, Shun receives the notification that he has been freed from the curse because he managed to reach the negative level. In turn, Shun will get the chance to use the power hidden from the world. As his first error skill, Shun is informed that he has been blessed with the Flame Magic Level 1. The status screen tells him that he will need error points to use his error skills. Shun is confused by the entire information he is getting. With no understanding of what the system means by error points and power behind the world, Shun stands there like a clueless chicken. Just then, a guy who resembles Shun appears behind him. The guy has a golden aura around him and he looks cool while floating in the air. Shun figures out that the voice he heard earlier was from the guy. The guy lets Shun know that he doesn't have the power to stop time for long, which is why he is going to quickly explain things to him. The guy stretches his hand towards Shun, and images start flooding into his head. Shun starts getting some important info, but some details are hidden from him. Apparently, their world is under a great cause, but the reason remains unknown to Shun. The curse is what brings out the concept of levels. Shun is shocked to hear that the levels that they are always running after are nothing but a curse. Levels are supposed to make them stronger, but this happens to be the opposite. The curse prevents humans from going past level 99, but Shun has beaten the curse because he is someone who is not controlled by the constraints of their world. Before the guy disappears, he tells Shun that the more his level drops, the more he regains the power behind the world. He also tells Shun that he will receive the memories of a certain person, but he withholds the information on who the person is. Time starts running again, and Shun realizes that the wolves are still there. The wolves charge toward Shun, but with his new error skill called the Black Flame Magic, he unleashes a powerful magic strike that terminates the wolves in a loud explosion. Even Shun is shocked to see this. He is shocked that this is the first time of him using the new magic, but he somehow used it the right way. The girl behind Shun is amazed at how he was able to take care of all the wolves with just a single attack. Seconds later, Gazaria and his goons come rushing back to the scene because they heard the loud explosion from where they were. Gazaria and his guys are shocked to see that Shun is still alive and breathing. With everything he threw at Shun, Gazaria expects to find a body. The girl then tells Gazaria that Shun was the one who defeated all the monsters, leaving Gazaria even more surprised. Gazaria doesn't want to believe this, saying Shun is nothing more than a swift rookie. However, the girl stands up to Gazaria and she scolds him. Even Shun is impressed that the girl can put Gazaria in his place, which is something not many adventurers can do. Shun assumes that the girl is not from around there since the other adventurers respect Gazaria. The girl then decides to introduce herself. Her name is Lieza and she is a level 10 adventurer, but her skill remains unknown. This annoys Gazaria further because Shun is always getting the girls and he has done it again. While Gazaria is concerned about the girls, Shun is more worried about everything that is currently happening. His level is now -1, and for some mysterious reason the texts on the screen are garbled. Armic's current attack power is 7, his defense is 6, his magic defense is 13, and his speed is just 7. On the error skills page there is only one skill listed, and this is the Black Flame Magic. Having an internal monologue, Shun figures that the magic he used earlier would have required a considerable amount of training. However, he still cannot understand everything that is happening. Nonetheless, Shun smiles because he can finally help people with his newfound power. This is something his father had done, and since he wants to be like his father, this is his chance. Suddenly, the atmosphere in the dungeon changes, leaving everybody worried. They look around to see a void dragon emerging from the shadows. The dragons are considered extremely dangerous, with their level hidden too. Shun asks Gazaria if the dragon's emergence is his doing, but he says no. With shock and fear written all over him, Gazaria reveals that he doesn't have what it takes to summon such a powerful monster. Since Gazaria is not the one who summoned the monster, they are left with the question of where the dragon came from. The dragon lets out a loud screech that hurts the boys. The pain from the dragon's scream also triggers something in Shun's memory. He knows what the dragon is, but can't seem to accurately remember everything. In a twist of things, the wolves that Shun has defeated suddenly come back to life, and they look even scarier than before. Shun figures that this is the dragon's doing, but he doesn't want to believe that the dragon has the power to revive the dead. In a moment of foolishness, Gazaria stands up against the dragon. Shun screams at him to get away, but it is already too late for him. Gazaria gets hit by the dragon's breath, throwing him back and leaving his face disfigured. This clearly shows Shun what he has been missing. Apparently, the dragon can manipulate the time of its target. The dragon managed to change the scene by reviving the wolves. Just then, Lise jumps between the Shun and the dragon. She aims to protect Shun because Shun protected her earlier. Shun urges the girl not to act recklessly because the dragon is not to be messed with. Shun is more scared of the dragon because this is the first time he has heard of a dragon with time-manipulating powers. The dragon turns its attention toward Liez and unleashes its dragon breath. Before the attack hits Liez, Shun rushes toward her with a gamble. He pushes the girl out of the way and gets hit instead. Shun screams out in pain but refuses to back down from the pain. He motivates himself to endure the hit and the pain that follows. It turns out that Shun has a plan up his sleeve. With the dragon's attack causing him so much harm, the system message pops up with the error messages again. In reaction to getting hit, the system does something crazy. Shun can feel the change in the atmosphere, and he lets off a wicked smile. The system automatically takes control of the situation. A barrier is deployed, and every attack toward Shun disintegrates. Because of his presence in the negative realm, all of Shun's injuries get healed. Shun is glad that his gamble paid off, and with what he has learned so far, the memories flooding through him seem to be his own. Shun feels like a new person as he stands in front of the dragon with no fear. The dragon looks scarier than before as he hits Shun with another wave of attack, but this does nothing to Shun. Shun activates his black flame magic and hits the dragon with it. The dragon screams in pain as the attack leaves a portion of its face blown off. Bleeding and angry, the dragon charges at Shun with the intent to kill, but Shun dodges its attack. Shun remembers what the mysterious guy from before told him about having complicated memories. However, the memories are still not clear to Shun. Shun activates the error skill and combines it with his own innate skill called the Secret of Sword Origin. With this, he charges at the dragon, and before the angry beast can react, it gets blitzed. With the dragon defeated, Shun gains more experience, and his level also goes down to -3. Due to this, Shun is given another error skill. Shun doesn't understand everything about the skills yet, but he knows that he has reached a new and advanced realm. After defeating the dragon, Shun leaves the dungeon, but Liez follows him. Shun is headed to the guild, and since Liez is not an adventurer, he is forced to ask the girl why she is following him. Liez simply replies that she is following Shun because she respects him. She has taken Shun as her master, and even though she has no business at the Adventurers Guild, Shun is heading there, which automatically makes it her business. Shun still doesn't understand what the girl is trying to achieve, but Liesa doesn't care. She is ready to stick with Shun since he saved her life. Shun doesn't think Liesa owes him anything, but since he can't force her to leave him alone, he decides to just let her be. Shun recounts his experience in the dungeon. He managed to gather some materials after defeating the dragon and the other monsters. To be safe, Shun is planning to keep what happened in the dungeon a secret. In addition to this, there is still much more that he needs to understand about the negative level and the mysterious memories in his head. Shun then tells Liesa that they need to head to the guild so that they can exchange the materials they gathered for money. In a twist of things, Liesa tells Shun that he doesn't need to sell materials at the guild because she is willing to support him. Shun is confused by what he just heard, but before he can probe further, he hears some guys talking about the dragon that appeared in the dungeon. This is not pleasing to Shun because he doesn't expect the news to spread so fast. Shun knows that keeping everything under the rug is the best approach because he can't afford to make enemies who envy him, just like Azaria did. He then turns to Liesa to tell her that they need to keep everything that happened in the dungeon a secret, and Liesa assures him that her mouth is sealed tightly. Shun is more impressed that Liesa understands him more than he gives her credit for. They soon arrive at the guild, and as they step in, Shun can already see everyone staring at him. The adventurers are surprised that Shun has not given up on being an adventurer, even though he has a trash skill. Lisa can also hear the whispers, but she urges Shun to ignore whatever they are saying. The most usual thing is that every adventurer receives one skill, but with the new power that Shun just unlocked, he is blessed with 2 error skills. Shun knows fully well that the right thing to do is to keep his mouth shut about it. Shun arrives at the reception and presents the materials to the guild attendant. Shun brought wolf materials for the exchange of money. The attendant asks for a few minutes to clarify everything. The attendant asks Shun if he was in Dungeon 37, and he says yes. Shun is already worried that people have found out about his fight in the dungeon. To avoid suspicion is why he hasn't brought out the dragon materials. The attendant tells Shun that a dangerous monster appeared in Dungeon 37, and because of this, Gazaria hasn't even come back. However, she is relieved that Shun came back just fine. Just then, the atmosphere in the room changes. A magic circle appears in the room, leaving everyone shocked. Appearing from the magic circle is the S-rank adventurer, Urisha. She sits elegantly like a peacock while everyone in the room trembles in fear. Urisha is one of the strongest adventurers, and this is so because of her illusion powers. The attendant quickly asked Urisha why she had come to the guild. Urisha informs the attendant that the dragon was already defeated when she got to the dungeon. This shocks the attendant, but Urisha continues by adding that she found Bloodwolf's material all over the dungeon. At that moment, Urisha turns her attention toward Shun. She asks Shun if he knows what happened in the dungeon. With Urisha standing in front of him, Shun smells a sweet fragrance in the air, leaving him to wonder where it came from. Just then, one of the adventurers cuts in, telling Urisha that the guy she is talking to is basically useless. Urisha gets mad at the adventurer for speaking to her when she didn't ask him. Out of annoyance, Urisha uses her power on the adventurer. The adventurer immediately goes dumb, with blood coming out of his nose and mouth. Urisha tells the adventurer that he will regain his speech in about a year. After taking care of the lousy adventurer, Urisha turns her attention toward Shun again. She asks him again if he has any idea of what happened at the dungeon. But Shun lies, telling Urisha that he has no idea what he is talking about. Urisha doesn't probe further and decides to walk away. Even Shun is surprised that Urisha backed off without any argument. Suddenly, Urisha turns back with a sword in hand. Urisha charges towards Shun, leaving the guy totally confused as to why she is targeting him. Just as Urisha was about to reach him, Shun had no choice but to defend himself. He uses his skill, but Urisha disappears and reappears behind Shun, all thanks to her illusion power. Urisha now has a free space to hit Shun from behind, but Shun still manages to block the attack. Their swords hit each other, leaving a clashing effect. Urisha is surprised to see that Shun is using a strange skill. However, Urisha believes that Shun still has nothing on her because of her illusion skills. Using her power, she is able to get closer to Shun. She then asks him if he is willing to reveal his secret. Before Shun can reply, Urisha lets him know that she is a champion of justice and that she is on the lookout for clues about error monsters. Urisha threatens to render Shun dumb forever if she finds out that he is on the enemy's side. Fear grips Shun as he realizes that Urisha's threat is no joke. Realizing that Urisha has him backed into a corner, Shun decides not to hold back. In the presence of everyone in the guild, Shun activates his second error skill. This leaves Urisha and the other adventurers shocked and stunned. With his new skill activated, Shun feels more power flowing through him. He goes after Urisha with a powered attack, but she manages to dodge. With the new display of power, Urisha believes that Shun was holding back, but she is not so sure about this. In reality, she is right to be confused because Shun just got a new skill during their battle. Meanwhile, the other adventurers are wondering why Shun is able to stand up to Urisha's might. The adventurers cannot believe that Shun, who is considered to be the trash guy, is holding his own against the S-rank adventurer. As for Shun, he is still trying to figure out his new power. He had a faint idea of what the skill does, and it seems he was right. Judging from what he can see on the status screen, the new skill has boosted his attack power. His attack power is now 210 from the measly 7 that it was before. It is common knowledge that attack power doesn't usually change unless an adventurer levels up, but his skill seems to have changed the odds of that. Just then, Urisha uses her power on Shun again. Suddenly finds himself in the middle of a destroyed city. There are monsters running around destroying things while humans beg for help. Shun is shocked by the destruction and chaos that is all around him, but he figures out that it is an illusion. He then turns to Urisha, asking her what she wants by showing him everything she did. Urisha is impressed that Shun is not just strong, but he also has what it takes to be calm in certain situations. She is more impressed that Shun is able to make the right judgment even in times of chaos. She also noticed that Shun is upset with the scene she showed him, and by this Urisha concludes that Shun is not an enemy informant. Urisha lifts the illusion veil and apologizes to Shun. With her recent action, she has been able to figure out that Shun is not affiliated with the enemy. Shun is also surprised that everything Urisha did was not out of malice but a way to draw out information. It seems Urisha also figured out that Shun is trying to run away from anything that will expose him. Urisha commends Shun for his skills because not many people have what it takes to parry her sword. Shun appreciates the commendation and he thanks Urisha for her kind gesture. After Urisha is done with Shun, she turns to the adventurer from before and she reverses the spell she placed on him. With this, the adventurer is able to speak again. Not ready to see a repeat of what happened, the adventurer and his friend run out of the guild. Urisha then tells Shun that she is willing to do something for him as a way to apologize for causing him trouble. She suggests that Shun sit down, and she promises not to do anything bad to him. Urisha sits down with Shun and Liese. This draws attention from the rest of the guys in the guild. They all line up in a queue, begging Urisha to acknowledge them. Being the mean person she is, Urisha talks to them the way she likes, but the guys do not mind. Shun is confused about what he is seeing, and he asks Urisha. Urisha then reveals that the guys are a part of a fan club. Urisha confesses that she doesn't like boys, but proceeds to ask something ridiculous. She asks Shun to go out with her, leaving the guy in a state of shock. Even the other people who are in the guild are shocked by what they just heard. Shun is forced to ask Urisha again what she meant by asking her out. Even Lies is not pleased, and she is already barking at Urisha. Surprisingly, Urisha starts laughing, and she apologizes for the misunderstanding. She lets Shun know that she didn't mean it the way they did. Urisha then breaks it down so that they can all understand. She tells Shun about the elite organization called Levventon. Urisha wants Shun to follow her to the organization and be an active member of the organization. This comes as a shock to Shun, and he stands up to protest the request. When talking about the Levventon organization, it is an establishment where only S-rank adventurers are gathered. It is considered to be the kingdom's highest-level organization. Urisha explains that in recent years, error monsters that can't have their levels measured, just like the void dragon that Shun fought, have been appearing in the kingdom. These error monsters are said to have tremendous power that is capable of wiping out towns and villages. As a countermeasure to these dangerous beasts is why the Levventon organization was formed. Shun stands up from where he is sitting, reminding Urisha that he is just an E-rank adventurer, all thanks to his level-down skill. However, Urisha is not ready to believe that Shun is weak because she is confident that he is the one who defeated the Void Dragon. Urisha lets Shun know that error monsters are so powerful that they even cause S-rank adventurers like herself problems. Because of how dangerous the monsters are, Urisha is ready to scout anyone who she believes is capable of dealing with them. Shun then points out the fact that Urisha is scouting him in front of so many people, but Urisha tells him that Levventon is not hidden from most adventurers. It turns out that only Shun is clueless about the organization. Everyone in the room is already staring at him with jealousy and envy just because he got an invitation to the organization. Urisha tries to sweet-talk Shun further by letting him know that he can easily get back at those who have hurt him if he joins the organization. At that moment, Shun remembers the last time he saw his father. His father left the house, promising to come back one day. Since then, he has not seen his father, and this is where his passion to become an adventurer grew from. He has promised himself that he is going to find his father. Urisha then holds Shun's hand, urging him to follow her because the organization's leader would like to see him. Shun thinks over the proposal and agrees that it is nice, but outrightly tells Urisha that he is not interested in joining the organization. This answer shocks Urisha as she doesn't expect Shun to turn down such a good offer. Urisha is not ready to take no for an answer, and she decides to take matters into her own hands. Shun smells the sweet fragrance from before again, and before he knows what is happening, Urisha is already behind him, holding him down. She puts Shun under her influence, and unable to fight Urisha's power, Shun begs Urisha to take him along. Thankfully, Shun's willpower is strong. He is able to figure out that he is currently under an illusion spell. He manages to break free of the spell and he pushes Urisha away. He admits that the offer is very tempting, but lets Urisha know that he has things he wants to do. Urisha is shocked to see this as she doesn't expect Shun to break out of her illusion spell, and he did this by his own power without any external interference. Lies steps in, telling Urisha to back off because Shun is not interested. Urisha is disappointed but has no choice but to respect Shun's wishes since he has no interest whatsoever. However, she tells Shun that it is true that the organization is having issues with error monsters. She points out the incident of the Void Dragon, trying to let Shun know that the appearance of the error monsters is a mystery. Shun thinks about it too, and he agrees with the deduction. Shun remembers that he felt no presence before the Void Dragon appeared out of nowhere. Shun immediately falls into a state of thinking. Urisha notices his worries and opens up about the investigation that the organization has been conducting. According to the investigation that has been carried out by the organization, it seems an error monster will appear close to the area again. Because of this theory, Urisha was on the lookout for more clues. It then dawns on Shun that Urisha was acting all pushy because she needed to find error monsters. Just then, Gazaria's minions enter the guild. Shun is surprised to see that the two made it out of the dungeon safe and sound. Suddenly, chaos erupts. Error monsters appear in the area. Multiple stone golems start chasing people around. The adventurers in the area waste no time going after the monsters, but they are no match for the powerful golems. The adventurers get slashed, kicked, and stomped to the ground. Shun, Urisha, and Liesa watch as the adventurers are decimated and kicked around. Shun is confused about what he is looking at. He is in his head, trying to figure out how the monsters suddenly appear in the area. The most viable conclusion is that the monsters can teleport, but Urisha says she has never heard of monsters having teleportation powers in the past. Urisha holds out an appraisal stone to check the status of the monsters. She is able to confirm that they are leap golems, but their level remains hidden. Just then, more monsters show up to join the attack. This finally gets on Urisha's nerves, and she swings into action. With her illusion power, she creates multiple versions of herself. Shun is shocked to see Urisha in action, and the lady reminds Shun that she is a champion of justice, and she can't sit by idly while the monsters rampage the area. Urisha and her clones rush toward the monsters, delivering swift attacks. Shun is impressed by what he is looking at. He knows that Urisha has illusion skills, but for her to create physical forms of them is very impressive. Urisha starts cutting the golems with her short sword, but Shun notices that there are more golems in the area. Shun knows very well that Urisha can't handle the monsters all by herself. Shun then tells Liesa to handle the evacuation process while he joins Urisha on the battlefield. Shun realizes that he has been engaged in one battle after another, but he is determined not to give up as long as he is able to help. A kid gets trapped by the golems, and he screams for help. Just as the golem is about to squash the child, Shun arrives at the right moment. Using his skill, he cuts off the golem's limbs. Shun then turns to the child. He assures him that he is going to take care of the monsters and urges the kid to run away. The kid, being a smart one, does as told, and he runs off. Shun now stands in front of the golems and decides to check the status screen. From the experience points consumption rate, he realizes that the black flame magic costs him 20 points, while the principle of attack costs him 10 points. As for his attack power, it increases for only a few seconds. Shun figures out that if he tries to fight them one by one, he will run out of experience points before he knows it. Shun comes to the best conclusion that he can, and this is him taking down all of the golems in one strike. Just then, Shun notices something important. He realizes that the golems have a hard time catching up to Urisha. This begs the question of whether the golems cannot use their teleportation ability. But then something else comes into his head at that moment, but before he can finish processing it, the golems come after him. Shun manages to catch all of their attention, and the golems chase after him. However, the golems catch up to Shun in no time, showing that they are not just big, but they are also fast. Shun is able to block the attacks from the golems, but his HP keeps reducing. Shun is backed into a corner, and the kid he saved worries that Shun might die. Shun gets punched by one of the golems. He gets thrown off balance but refuses to retaliate because he is planning something. The golems continue attacking him, but he keeps holding out. Even Urisha is now worried that Shun is going to get killed. Shun has figured out that there is only one way he will defeat the golems. Since he has figured out that their ability is not teleportation, it makes things easy for him. Shun has put it together that though the golems are extremely fast for their stature, they can only move in straight lines. With this, Shun aims to put all the golems in a single position. After getting beaten up repeatedly, Shun is able to achieve his aim. He now has the golems on a straight line, which is what he wants. Knowing that there is no escape room for any of the monsters, Shun activates his black flame magic. With the black flame attack, Shun takes down all of the golems in one go. Everyone watching is left stunned by this high level of skill displayed by Shun. Some of the adventurers cannot believe their eyes as they wonder what sort of magic Shun is operating on. Urisha is impressed with what she is seeing, and not just the magic, but by Shun himself. Urisha finally realizes that Shun had to wait for the right chance so he could take down all of the golems in one go. This only confirms what Urisha suspects, and this is the fact that Shun is no ordinary person. After defeating the golems, the status screen displays new information for Shun to see. His experience has become -4, and his maximum experience point has also increased to 90. Shun has also acquired a new skill, which is the Revenger Curse. Shun knows that as the curse lifting progresses, detailed data on error skills will become viewable. As for the Revenger Curse skill, it will take 30 experience points from his total experience points. The skill can be activated when taking an attack. This then returns the same damage received to the opponent. It dawns on Shun that the curse-lifting progress is what the mysterious guy who appeared to him was trying to explain. While thinking about the new skill he just acquired, the kid he saved shows up with his mother to thank Shun. The boy stretches his hand to appreciate Shun. Shun's face lights up in excitement as he sees this. He wastes no time before holding the boy's hand just like a proper hero would do. Shun tells the kid that he is also happy that he is able to save him. Later on, Shun receives the town's mayor. The mayor kneels in front of Shun, thanking him for his heroics. The old man doesn't hold back from letting the tears of joy flow freely from his eyes. Even Shun is flattered by the number of praises that he has received, and he is even begging the mayor to stop. Urisha is enjoying every bit of the moment, and she urges Shun to do the same. Urisha reminds Shun that he saved people, so it is not rude for him to accept the praises. Urisha is happy that she is right about Shun, and to celebrate this, she asks for more drinks. Meanwhile, the other adventurers are already getting jealous of Shun. They have always seen him as the trash among them, but now he is receiving all the praise in the world. They are also mad that he has women all around him. They can't believe that Shun was the one who defeated the monsters. They are so delusional that they believe he used some sort of cheat to get by. The kid who Shun saved heard them, and being the brave he is, he challenges them. He scolds them for making fun of Shun and tells them that they need to be ashamed of themselves. The adventurers cannot believe that they are being scolded by a kid. However, the kid is not even ready to back down yet, as he tells them that they need to stop saying bad things about people. Shun sees the kid scolding the rude adventurers, and he laughs, knowing that he has someone who has his back. On the other hand, Shun is just glad that peace has returned to the town. As they continue drinking, Urisha reminds Shun about what they talked about earlier. She mentions the fact that she didn't sense the monster's presence before they suddenly appeared. She asks Shun if the same thing happened with the Void Dragon, and he says yes. Shun remembers that Gazaria, the brat, wasn't the one who summoned the dragon. This means that there are other possibilities in the book. Taking all of these into account, Shun asks Urisha about the investigation. He remembers Urisha telling him that monsters would appear in the area, and just as she said, they did. She then asks Urisha why it happened like that. Urisha is impressed with Shun's observation. Urisha explains that the phenomenon behind it is simple. She says the error monsters often appear again near where they previously appeared. Looking at the map of where the monsters have appeared, it is pretty obvious that they are in close proximity to each other. However, Urisha tells Shun that they have no idea why this is happening. Shun sits down in deep thought and puts together everything he has learned so far. He notices that there is something off, and he doesn't want to count it as a coincidence. Just then, Shun gets a bright idea. He tells Urisha that they need to check something out. He admits that he might have overlooked something tremendous. At the site where the golems were destroyed, Gazaria's minions can be seen observing the remains. With the conversation going on between the two, it seems they are aware of what is going on. Just then, Shun appears out of nowhere and comes after the two with his sword. However, Shun's attack is parried away. Shun pulls back, and with what he is looking at, he realizes that his assumptions were right. One of the guys is not happy that they are busted and wishes he had put up a people-repelling barrier. Urisha takes a good look at the guys to see that they are also at the guild. Shun tells Urisha that he figured out what was happening from the earlier conversation. Apparently, the appearance of the error monsters is not natural. They are being carried out by someone, and the culprits are the two guys. The two have always been present wherever the error monsters appear. The two were able to carry out their evil plans while staying in Gazaria's shadows to cover their tracks. It turns out that the two also have monster summoning skills, and they were the ones bringing forth the error monsters. The two are impressed with the fact that Shun is able to figure out all of these. The two reveal that they deliberately left traces too. Just like proper villains do, the two smile while announcing Gazaria's death. They claim that they are heartbroken about the loss, but clearly they are not. Urisha is tired of taking trash from the two, and she charges toward them in anger. She is able to reach one of them, and before he can react, Urisha pushes her knife into his head. Urisha is about to land the hit, but surprisingly, her attack has no effect on the target. The guy she went after had a mask on his face, and the knife attack only destroyed the mask. With the mask gone, the guy's real face is revealed. He has green hair, green eyes, and he painted his nails green too. Urisha is disappointed that she wasn't able to deal damage, but at the same time, she is impressed with the kind of techniques that the guys use. The green-haired guy, Carla, replies to Urisha's compliments. He tells her that he is honored to have received such compliments from an S-rank adventurer. In addition to Carla's ugly face, he also has a weird mark on his left cheek. The two then turn to Shun, telling him that they are impressed with how he was able to see through their deceit. Carla continues further by saying Shun probably was able to achieve this because he is Pharaoh's son. Shun is shocked when he hears this because he doesn't expect the two to know his father's name. This catches Shun's attention, and he asks the two how they know his father's name. Carla is about to continue talking when his partner tells him to shut it. He reminds Carla that he would be divulging too much information if he kept talking. Carla admits his mistake and apologizes. However, they have managed to get Shun angry just by mentioning his father's name. Shun's eyes turn red, and with rage burning through him, he demands that the two tell him everything that they know. The memory of his father leaving replays in his head all over again. He remembers telling his father not to be a sacrifice, but his father insisted that he needed to go. His father lets him know that he needs to stop the evil lord who is the mastermind behind the creation of monsters. His father mentions that the only solution to the problem is to leave and join the fight. Shun held his father tight, promising to fight with his father when he grows up. Since Shun was not able to stop his father from leaving, the determination to get stronger and find his father has always been there. He trained from when he was a kid and never stopped. Even when his peers were mocking him, he didn't back down. Shun stayed true to his decision and kept fighting. At some point, he got beaten up by Gezeria's minions. They called his father trash, telling him that his father is dead. However, Shun doesn't believe this fact. Shun tries to argue with them, but this only earns him more beatings from the bullies. Remembering all of these, Shun gets madder. With a purple aura surrounding him, Shun orders the two to talk. Carla's partner arrogantly replies that they have no reason to tell him anything. He suggests that Shun shut up, but this only gets on Shun's nerves. He unleashes a powerful attack that sends the guy flying into the distance. Carla is shocked but impressed at the same time. Carla says Shun is even more threatening than when he defeated the golems. Urisha wants to join in the fight, but Shun tells her not to. He promises to defeat the two all by himself. Urisha realizes that Shun means every word, and she honors his request by staying on the sidelines. Carla then uses his power to summon a bunch of golems, hoping that they are going to stop Shun. Carla believes he has done something good, but his smile fades the moment Shun takes all of them down in one strike. Even Urisha is shocked to see this, but Carla, being the psychopath that he is, smiles yet again. Carla's partner then tells him to stop playing around. Carla then says something really weird. He says Pharaoh will get angry, and this statement catches Shun's attention. He immediately demands to know why his father's name is coming up during the conversation. Carla laughs it off, telling Shun to forget that he said anything. However, Shun is not to be messed with in his current state of mind. Before Carla can blink, Shun reaches him. Shun swings his sword with so much fury that it would have ended Carla, but he got saved by his clones yet again. By the time Shun looks around, he sees Carla and his partner standing on a distant rooftop. Carla continues to make fun of Shun, while his partner calls for restraint. Carla makes jokes about scary Shun's face and then tells him that he should ask Urisha for information if he wants to know more about his father. Carla claims that Shun will understand the situation better if Urisha explains to him. As usual, Carla's partner tells Carla to stop talking before he puts them into trouble. Carla finally agrees to leave things for now since their objective in the area is already complete. With his annoying face, Carla tells Shun that they will meet again soon. Carla then opens a magic circle in an attempt to teleport away from the location. This really pisses Shun off, and before the two realize what is happening, Shun appears beside them. With just a strike, he destroys the teleportation portal. Fear grips the two as they realize that they have really gone over the top. Carla's partner is the most worried as he catches a glimpse of Shun behind him. Shun reminds the two that he will be the one to defeat them. Before Shun's attack can hit the guy, he easily parries it. Shun is shocked that the guy is able to block the attack. Carla's partner agrees that Shun is strong, but says it is not enough to go against him. However, Shun is not ready to back off. He repositions himself and comes after the two. Carla smiles evilly, telling Shun that he is getting over his head. Carla claims that he was prepared to let Shun go, but he has crossed the line and now he has to die. Shun uses his Black Flame attack, but Carla easily blocks the attack with a similar attack called the Black Lightning. Shun is shocked to see this as he wonders how Carla is using the same type of magic as him. Without thinking too much about it, Carla figures out that Shun is able to use the power behind the world too. It turns out that Carla and his partner can also access this power. Shun is surprised, and the same can be said for Carla and his partner. They are surprised that Pharaoh's son was able to awaken to such powerful magic on his own. Shun is then asked if he has intentions of coming with them. Shun angrily replies that he has no intention of following the guys because they are the bad guys. Shun suggests that the two surrender and confess everything that they know. Shun resumes his attack and charges toward the two. Carla and his partner are not impressed with Shun's decision. Carla says they no longer have a choice but to fight Shun since he is determined to oppose them. Carla's face turns really dark as he tells Shun that they are going to kill him. Carla easily blocks Shun's attack, leaving Shun shocked. Carla launches a counterattack that almost costs Shun his eyes, but he manages to block the attack. Even Carla is impressed by Shun's skills and techniques. Shun swings his sword at Carla again, but he misses. He realizes that he not only missed, but Carla is no longer where he targeted. Shun figures out that Carla's power is instant teleportation of objects. Shun comes to the conclusion that he cannot beat Carla and his partner with conventional methods. He knows that the only skill that might give him a chance is the Revenger's Curse skill. Urisha notices that Shun is struggling, and she comes rushing over to try and help, but Shun stops her. He maintains his stance on defeating Carla and his partner all by himself. Shun makes a strong stance and dares the two to come at him together. Shun is banking on their recklessness to finish the fight in one blow. Carla and his partner recognize the immense power and aura coming from Shun. Carla believes that Shun is reckless for trying to take them on all by himself. However, Carla's partner tells him not to joke around with Shun. He reminds Carla that Shun is Pharaoh's son, and they should hit him with their most powerful attack. Carla agrees to this, believing that it would be nice if they send Shun off with a blast. With this, the two prepare their most powerful attack. Shun is shocked when he sees what the two have in store for him. Carla's partner unleashes a mountain of swords, and coupled with Carla's power of teleportation, the swords appear above Shun's head. Shun realizes that he has no escape from the incoming attack. Urisha sees this and immediately becomes worried. She tries rushing toward Shun, but there is no opening for her. Shun runs toward Carla and his evil partner, but one of the swords pierces his arm, stopping him dead in his tracks. Just as the hits start coming in, Shun seizes the perfect opportunity to activate his error skill, the Revenger Curse. Since the skill returns the damage to the attack, the skill kicks into effect. All the damage that Shun is supposed to suffer immediately shifts sides and affects Carla and his partner. The two get bloodied over by the attacks, leaving them pissed. Neither of them believed that Shun could have learned the Revenger Curse skill. Carla then realizes that Shun intentionally provoked them so that they would throw everything they had at him. Without wasting time, Shun uses his sword attack to hit the already weakened brats. Unable to dodge the blow, the two are hit, and Carla is the first to pass out. Urisha stands in the distance, watching in shock and disbelief. To contribute to the battle, Urisha restrains the two using her magic. Carla is knocked out, but his partner is acting all tough. Shun has no time to play around with the guy, and he knocks him out cold. With this, Shun is able to keep his promise that he will be the one to defeat the two. Shun heaves a sigh of relief once he realizes that the two are out of commission. He tries walking but almost falls off due to exhaustion. Urisha comes to his aid and holds him before he falls. Urisha was impressed by how Shun handled the fight. Everything she has seen so far just continues to prove her right that Shun is not an ordinary kid. Shun is worried about Carla and his partner, but Urisha assures him that everything is under control. She has already called some of the guild members to come and handle the two. Shun looks into the distance to see the people from the guild running toward them. Urisha then gives Shun a recovery potion so he can get his strength back up. Urisha uses this to shoot her shot by offering to use her mouth to give Shun the potion, but he humbly rejects the offer. Shun gulps the recovery potion, and in an instant, all of his injuries are healed. Shun is impressed with Urisha's generosity because he is well aware that the recovery potion is expensive. Recognizing this fact, Shun thanks Urisha for her help. Urisha then demands that she and Shun talk in private. Shun agrees to this, and the two sit down to talk. Urisha tells him that it is about his father. Apparently, there is something she has been hiding from him about his father. In a moment of truth, Urisha tells Shuna that his father is behind the error monsters. This piece of information hits Shuna really hard, forcing him to stand up from where he is sitting. He is forced to ask Urisha if she is sure of what she is saying. Urisha lets him know that she understands his feelings, but the truth behind the entire thing is that Levventon has already reached the conclusion 5 years ago. Urisha was initially wary of Shun because she believed that he was working with his father. Urisha continues by saying Carla and his partner have confirmed that Pharaoh is involved in everything. Due to this new development, she knows that Pharaoh will come under extensive investigation. Shun remains mute because he finds it hard to believe what he is being told. Urisha understands Shun's silence and all. She then reveals that Pharaoh was a very powerful S-rank adventurer. Everyone knows who Pharaoh Bright is, and even among the other S-rank hunters, Pharaoh is the best. In fact, he is so strong that if all of the S-rank adventurers try to take him on, he will still come out as the winner. However, everything changed the very day Pharaoh fought the evil lord. After she is done telling Shun the secret, she clearly sees the guy's sad face. Shun also realizes that he was being scouted for Levventon, but not because he defeated the dragon. It turns out that they always wanted Shun in the organization so that they could keep an eye on him. Urisha smiles when she realizes that Shun is not like his father, who likes to hide things. She also notices that Shun is acting off, and she urges him not to be, telling him that everyone is trying their best for the country too. She then tells him that they have no interest in forcing him to join Levventon, but after everything that he has heard, Shun's mind has already changed. He tells Urisha that he is now willing to join the fight against his father. He became an adventurer because of his father, and he considers it fate to have to be the one to track down his father. Just then, Lisa enters the room with tears in her eyes. She had already figured out that Shun was leaving, and she held him, telling him not to leave her. Shun notices that the girl is drunk already, but suddenly, Lise starts asking that she follow them too. Urisha tells Lise that she is free to follow them as long as she passes the recruitment test to enter the organization. Liesa confidently tells the two that she will pass the test as long as she uses her power. The two are confused as to what power she is talking about. However, she remains quiet about it. Urisha already suspected that Liesa has something up her sleeve, and this might just reveal her hand. Urisha then tells the two that they are going to leave for Levventon the next day. Liesa is so excited that she suggests that they leave that night. However, Shun tells Liesa that they can't take an intoxicated person with them. Liesa turns things around with the pity card, telling Shun that she loves him, and this is why she will follow him anywhere. Shun's face turns red when he hears this, but he can only acknowledge what Liesa said. Urisha then asks him if his resolve hasn't changed, and he says yes. He is still interested in joining the organization to uncover his father's secrets. Urisha is glad to hear this, telling Shun that no one wants Pharaoh to have an enemy too. Shun is determined to track down his father and catch up to him. The next day, the two arrive at the Levventon headquarters, Windsor. They are surprised to see a whole different scenery with lots of people in the city. Shun is expecting something like a secret headquarters, but the whole area is crawling with people like a festival. Urisha then tells him that Levventon's recruitment is open to the public. The test is a 1-versus-1 battle with examiners. People come from long distances just to come and participate in the matches. Urisha then tells Shun not to be scared because the first examiner is just about A-rank level. Since Shun is able to stand his own against Urisha herself, she is confident that the boy has what it takes to pass the exam with ease. Liese hears this and rejoices that, thankfully, Shun won't have to go against monsters like Urisha. Shun and Urisha are shocked at how audacious the girl is. However, Urisha doesn't take this as an offense, rather a compliment. Urisha then suggests that they visit the reception first. They arrive at the organization's building, which is a very big building. Upon entering the building, Urisha is happily welcomed by the two attendants in the room. They call her Big Sister and also commend her for capturing an enemy executive. The two immediately turn their attention to Shun and Liese. They see the two as leeches who are trying to get close to Urisha. Urisha quickly steps in, telling the girls that Shun is the one who helped capture the enemy executive. Urisha then tells the girls that Shun and Liese will also be taking the recruitment test. Even after hearing this, the two don't back off. They keep saying trash to Shun that he only helped so he can steal Urisha's limelight. Liese wants to defend Shun, but the guy tells her that there is no need for that since he is already used to a life like that. The two continue insulting Shun until Urisha finally gets mad. She scolds the two, reminding them of what she is capable of doing. Fear grips the two, but this is enough to scare them off Shun's back. The attendants then offered to lead the two to the recruitment room. The two are taken to another room to meet an attendant with purple hair girl. With a smile on her face, she distributes some sort of booklet. Just as she gets close to Liese, Shun notices something off. Before Shun knows what is happening, the girl attacks Liese. She grabs Liese and holds her hostage. Shun wants to rush to Liese's aid, but the evil attendant demands that he stay back. She threatens to unalive Liese and suggests that Shun drop his weapon. Shun is shocked to see this, and he asks the girl if she is not a staff member in the organization. The girl then reveals something shocking. She tells Shun that her transformation skill can change her appearance to any person. She is able to mimic the person's voice down to everything as detailed as fingerprints. The girl was able to infiltrate the organization by mimicking a staff member. Apparently, the girl is one of Carla's people. She then demands to know where Carla was taken. However, Shun replies that he has no idea where Carla and his partner are being held. The evil attendant gets mad and she raises her knife to Liese's throat to show Shun that she is not messing around. Liese, on the other hand, is not scared. She tells Shun not to listen to what the attendant is saying. The girl demands that Shun drop his weapon and he agrees to this. Shun drops his sword but does something shocking. Shun activates the principle of attack skill and hits Liese with it. With the sudden power hitting Liese, she is able to grab her captor and smash her to the ground. The attendant cannot believe what just happened, and how Liese suddenly found the immense strength to do that to her. It turns out that Shun took a gamble when he used the principle of attack on Liese. As he suspected, the skill can work on others too. Shun grabs his sword and smashes the girl with purple hair into the wall before she can even react. Once he is sure that he has incapacitated the purple head, Shun makes sure that there is no other suspicious presence in the area. However, he is worried that there might be some others like the purple head who is hiding in the organization. He then screams at the top of his voice to call everyone's attention to the spy that they just caught. Just then, something surprising happens. The purple head smiles and looks at the two before telling them that they have passed the preliminary test. Hearing this shocks Shun and Liese as they had no idea that they were being tested.